them come. This is their fate.
Thank you all for joining us. This is Deontay from the House of Wolves podcast for another episode. I believe this is episode 16. Today we got a few topics in regards to Nintendo's Direct, Outriders demo, leaving the systems, leveling systems and games, and a few other things. But one of the more, tension-packed topics that we want to talk about was a video Nintendo Direct overspiel to our chat, basically about how Nintendo makes too many remakes, and then someone else, aka Josh, stating that I don't understand why y'all have a problem with that. And then we kind of had a whole discussion about it. So kind of want to talk about it on the podcast and bring that hot, I guess what do you call that, hot drama to you guys. But yeah, so before we get started, as usual, how you guys doing today, Josh and Jalen?
I'm doing pretty good. Just life's good. I think your mic might be going in and out, Deontay, or it just might be me. How you doing, Jalen?
I'm smooth, man. Just ready for the weather to warm up. Other than that, man, I can't complain. Just making the most out of life and trying to maintain the struggle.
maintain. First topic here, and that was the chat basically. So
yeah,
let me give y'all some background, just a little bit of background before y'all jump into it. So Josh is an individual that really likes Nintendo. Me and Jalen are someone that we dibble and dabble, but we definitely see the flaws in their ways, and that should give you a little bit more premise about what the situation was. But go ahead, start, Josh. Josh is going to talk about why he felt that way.
I started out just so y'all maybe can have a different reaction to it this time. But yeah, I'll be honest. I grew up with not all Nintendo games. Like the first system I had was a Sega, but after that, like GameCube, Game Boy era, I grew up with Nintendo, and I played all those games as they come out. And so, when Nintendo announces new things, I look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I can definitely admit, like, they have a lot of issues, like especially the online infrastructure, and they don't bring out the best games sometimes. Like even like Mario Party just doesn't hit the same like it used to. But like with the Nintendo Direct, like I didn't see a lot of new things for me personally that I wanted to play, but I felt overall it was okay. I'm sure some games for people there, like Skyward Sword. It's a Skyward Sword remaster. Not a lot of big changes to it, just a couple small things to get people who didn't play it before to play it. But I just didn't get like y'all reaction was so negative to the overall event, and Skyward Sword is like, why they keep coming out with remakes? And I was like, well, I mean, we play remakes, and especially like if you are into Zelda, why wouldn't you care? I mean, why would you be mad about it? But I mean, I just think that in general, like we talked about it, y'all have a, I say, limited palette of what y'all want to play from Nintendo.
Yeah.
You will play Mario Kart, we'll play Smash, we'll play a lot of the big things from them, but I don't know. It's just I understand why y'all critical, but then at the same time, y'all are overly critical for no reason for something like a remake, a remaster.
Okay. This is where it started, y'all. So this is the setup that Josh was explaining why y'all always hating. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So then this was what Jalen, go ahead, jump in. Exactly what you said, not word for word, but basically what you stated in the chat. Go ahead.
Man, I gotta say word for word now because you got not just fine. No, I mean my thing was like I'm kind of like Josh. I loved Nintendo when I was a kid. I'm gonna be completely honest. Back when I was younger, when the GameCube first came out, I wanted the GameCube because I wanted the exclusives that it had versus the exclusives like the PS2 and stuff had. You know, I'm younger. I'm like, man, I'm trying to play Luigi's Mansion. I remember that as a release game. So, but it just kind of like started getting to me because just seeing how Nintendo like conduct their ways and what they be dropping and stuff like that. They just be dropping a ball, and it's to the point where they're not really in a race for like consoles. They just have to fit their own like niche, which is fine. I mean, we don't need like a big three per se. But anywho, when it comes to like the remakes and stuff like that, I don't. It's fine if they want to do remakes and stuff like that, but I just feel like the Switch is. I ain't gonna say it's starved because I don't play all the games and stuff, but I just feel like Nintendo just. I don't know. They games just don't like really hit the same. Maybe I'm older. Maybe I'm biased. I don't really know. I'm pretty like neutral when it comes to like game systems and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they charge me $60 for a game for a port that an emulator can do just as well, if not better, and they want $60 for it. And I'm like, why do y'all want $60 for that if y'all didn't do anything? And that kind of bring the point of it was controversy about Nintendo. They be like, you know, we make premium products and stuff like that, so it's kind of like self-proclaimed. You know, this is what we do and this is good and that's that. So, and they don't really listen to their fans. So that in combination just kind of, in my opinion, create like I ain't gonna say a recipe for disaster, but it's like a theory, not a theory, but if you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong and you're not receptive of your fans, then how can you grow? And that creates stagnancy with Nintendo that I find, and that's what I don't like because they have a lot of potential. They make good games, like they made Breath of the Wild, stuff like that. But you know, I just want to see something else like a Breath of the Wild. We haven't seen a game like that since like I don't know. I feel like my Switch just sit there and don't do anything. So, and I feel like they just really thrive off of Smash, which is cool. But I mean, I want to play something else other than Smash because Smash is like rinse and repeat at this point for me.
Yeah. Okay. We got some more info around the situation, around what kind of really what happened there. So let me throw in my little 2 cents because at this point, Josh is attacking both of us, basically calling us some Sony ponies and these Microsoft fanboys or whatever. So at this point, I'm defending myself and I'm saying essentially that I ain't say none of that. I ain't said. So Jayla's point was that they keep doing remasters and he tired of seeing remasters. Josh said, "What
just make
remasters?"
a good game. Or you don't.
Yeah, Josh said, "What remasters?" No. This is what he said. What remasters? So then he was mad because we were talking about Skyward Sword. So I got down to naming all of the Wii U remasters that they did, and they basically copied and pasted onto the Switch, and they sold it for $60. I'm talking Pokken Tournament, Treasure Tracker. I'm talking Pikmin. I'm talking Donkey Kong. I'm talking
the funny
3D
thing
World.
is about the Wii U games is they actually did add something to them where they're not adding
What
anything.
did they
to
add
Skyward Sword.
to Treasure
Every
Tracker?
single Wii U remaster, it has more content.
You talking about the DLC
like
that they
3D
already owned?
Don't act like 3D World just ain't get new content.
Oh my God, Josh.
I'm not
Listen.
saying I didn't play 3D World. I can't vouch for its quality or anything like that. But are you saying that the Wii U games,
do you think that's worth
they didn't
$60?
add extra thing? I didn't play it. I can't vouch for its value. But the point is that you're making, they're not adding anything new, but they're literally adding something new to all those Wii U games. The older games, they didn't add anything new. Skyward Sword is not getting a new mode, new content. The Sunshine didn't get new content. What?
You're in
I'm
denial.
sorry, I'm
Listen,
nitpicking.
guy. You're basically
am I in denial?
saying you're saying that because they added
Tropical Freeze got
they
a new
dropped
character.
you
and
got
new
this
levels.
whole Sunday. They put a little extra sprinkles on it and said $50 more, please. That's like worth it to you? Is that really worth it? No,
Sure,
I don't
it's not
believe
worth
so.
it,
Because I
but
think the Wii U
they're adding
is still a
content.
valuable, and they didn't upgrade no graphics. They didn't do nothing new to it, really. All they did was, you're saying that because they put Bowser Fury on the side of it, they could have called that DLC. And that would have still
the game
been...
ran at 60. What they're going to do graphically to it?
Oh, so are you saying that we're not in the 4K generation? Are you saying that they can't be coming
Is
out
the
with a
system
better
4K?
machine?
What are you talking about? Is the
They came
system
out with a
4K?
better
No.
machine yet? So they do the bare minimum, and guess what they did? They lowered the level of entry because they wanted to do that on purpose because they don't need to buy any resources or optimize much next. All they gotta do is continue on what they were doing anyway. So the Wii U is basically the Switch, right? And am I saying something wrong here? Is it more powerful?
What?
Is the
Man,
Switch more powerful than the Wii U?
Yes, but people didn't want to buy the Wii U. So why are we talking about this?
So the Switch is more powerful than the Wii U. Like how much more powerful?
Yes.
Because I remember playing Xenoblade Chronicles X that looked better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
It doesn't, but okay.
I played it. How you gonna tell me it doesn't look? It looks better.
Looks better how?
There actually
I don't know why
isn't
we talking about this.
pixels.
Like, yes, the Wii U, if you look at the specs, is
I'm
weaker
telling
than
you,
the Switch.
I'm trying to make my point. The point of this whole thing is they do the bare minimum, and and people praise it. I'm just trying to bring that to attention that literally the Switch is the Wii U, and they did nothing new, period, to the system outside of bringing Breath of the Wild. They have not done anything different. That is bare minimum. They charge you $20 for nothing for online. They don't have any online games. They do the bare minimum. And you have to kind of stop giving them a pass for doing the bare minimum because you like them. That's all I'm trying to say.
Look, I am not defending them to that point. Like, you're saying that I'm white knighting for Nintendo. Nintendo do everything right. I buy every Nintendo game. Last Nintendo game I bought was probably Animal Crossing back in February last year. Like, I'm not that person out there spending my $60 every single time Nintendo drop a game. I didn't even buy those Mario emulator games that I told y'all probably wasn't worth it, but y'all bought them anyways. So don't pin that on me. What I'm saying is, it don't matter if the Switch is that different from the Wii U. The Switch is the more attractive system. The proof of it is we all bought one when it came out.
For Breath of the Wild.
We didn't all buy a Wii U when it came out. And for the whole 5, 6, 7 years the Wii U was out, most people didn't buy it. That's why that was a product people didn't want. Because don't forget that the gamepad, like, even if the games was fun, people didn't want to use the gamepad. Like, Jalen didn't want to play Smash or whatever games that were out using the gamepad.
That was always dead, man. I'm like, dude.
So let's remove the negative points from the system, and that automatically improves it. And then all of a sudden, the Switch is the most popular console in the world. So it don't matter what they changed; they made the right decision.
You cannot say statements like they putting something in this game and don't make me and then expect me not to feel like you capping for them, because basically you just said that they can do the bare minimum.
Is it a fact
and it's
that they
okay.
added something to the game? That's all I was pointing out.
That's not a good point to make when you're trying to cap when it sounds like you capping for somebody to do the bare minimum. If you're saying that it's okay to do this because they added something to the game, that is not okay. I don't see how that's okay. Even if you're not trying to defend that, you're not trying to defend their thing. Don't make an argument basically stating
is there a difference?
Doing the bare minimum is okay.
Is there a difference of re-releasing Mario Sunshine as an emulator on the Switch versus Mario 3D World with Bowser's Fury, which is new content, new gameplay, new areas? Is there a difference? Yes. One is an emulator. It's literally copy and pasted content. The other one has added effort. It is factually a difference in the process. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about 3D World. I beat it 100%. I'm not going to buy Bowser's Fury. It might be fun, but there is a difference that is clear if you open your eyes and stop having a Nintendo bias.
Oh my God, Josh. You What do you... Okay, so it's okay for them to do that. It's okay for them to bundle DLC with a game and call it worthy.
That's
I
what a
don't think
remaster is. What's wrong with
I don't
that?
think he's saying it's
Stop.
worthy. I think he's just saying that is
I'm
better.
not saying it's
It's
worth
not adequate.
$60.
He's just saying it's
Let's
better
put it
than
this
if
way:
copy and pasting.
if you're a Nintendo fan, or you a person who's played a Nintendo game already, and they re-release it for $60, it's not worth $60 because you already played it. It's that simple. But I don't personally see the point in arguing about the price. I've never have, because the price is whatever people want to pay for it. So if they say Bowser's Fury is $60 and people don't buy it, then they're gonna have to change their pricing structure. The point is people buy it. It's the people who buy it who makes the value. So I'm not gonna personally spend $500 on a pair of Jordans, but if those pair that people are caring about, they're willing to spend that money, that makes its value. So with Nintendo, no, I don't think the Mario remaster was, what was it, $40 or something for
Mario.
Sunshine and other games.
It was.
60.
I
It
wouldn't.
was 50.
It
I
was
thought.
60.
50.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I can play all those games for free on any other system. I can probably play them on my PSP. But at this point, it don't matter what I think, because the people who are actually buying it went out and bought it and made its value.
So you don't have a problem. So you don't have a problem with them doing that, but why did you have a problem with us stating that they're doing that? That's what they're doing.
Again, if you want to go back to the chat and look at it, Jalen was talking about remasters. All I was referring to was the Nintendo Direct. I said, what remasters in this Nintendo Direct are they making you buy? It's just Skyward Sword.
Okay.
My comment came from I want to see some Breath of the Wild 2. They want to make a Mario Odyssey 2. If they want to make a Mario Strikers, something to
Yeah.
deviate from the norm and do what they used to do back when they was in a prime on a GameCube with the large catalog of different games that they had back on the DS. Like, I want to see something like that, but at the Direct. What is everybody looking for at the Direct? They're looking for Smash characters. And while we get a Smash character that people really don't really care about. And I mean, but that's anybody else's, opinion. But we get that, and then we get like remakes, or I know that Skyward Sword. I never played Skyward Sword. I don't know if I want to play it because they probably gonna charge $60 for it, and I'm not feeling inclined to play $60. I will think about playing the game because I never played it before, but the fact that it's the price point of $60 made me less inclined to play it. Additionally, like I just felt like they just don't be releasing stuff, man. That's all I'm saying. I want to play my Switch, and I can't play my Switch because they not releasing a game that I want to play on my Switch.
That's the second point we can get to.
So
why don't y'all want to play it?
There's nothing on it at this point. Not that we would enjoy to play that we already haven't played. So,
I'm not gonna pay $60 for any of them games on there. Like them games, I'm not gonna enjoy it that much to pay $60. That's my thing. We know the price not gonna go down on those games. They're gonna be $60. Like,
but there is no game right now that we can all play that's enjoyable that we would enjoy. Like
that's worth $60.
I don't know. If Josh, you got one. Only time I remember trying to get you guys to even play a game that they offered was Splatoon, and that was it. Everything else, it's either Smash or Mario Kart. Smash or Mario Kart. And then if you want to play Mario Maker, maybe. But you don't really play that as a multiplayer. I thought you only could play that like as people boards. So I haven't seen any games from Nintendo that was worthy to play, because everything else that's not Nintendo, you do not want to play it on that system. So what is it that they have that we would really enjoy that would be something that we can all play together anyway? I don't see it.
And that is the point, that there are games that are on the system, but let's say you don't enjoy them, so those games don't count, which is fine. But if the Nintendo is not coming out with the Mario Strikers that you want to play on the system, then either you find something else to play or you don't play the system. And the thing is that I see is the games that do come out, I mean, we all have our preference. Like, you don't care about, let's say they announce Xenoblade 3, whatever, and I want to play it, Deontay want to play it, but Jalen, he might feel like, I don't know, I'm on the fence. But if they announce another game that none of us care about, I don't see why it's an issue to like say and acknowledge that they have games. I just personally don't like the games that they offer.
They don't.
I will say that, but
What
the
games
thing
do they
is, instead of
have?
coming out with like
That's like
certain games and stuff, they just making like they come out like a HD like porter, something like that. I mean, that's fine. I mean, my biggest thing is I don't have a lot of money, and maybe I'm too broke to afford a Nintendo Switch to try the games. Let's just put it like that. I'm gonna put myself on the
Whatever.
lowest part of the total. I'm too broke to afford it. I'm not paying $60 to play a game when I can go play $20 to play Jedi Fallen Order or something and have more fun with that. Like that is to me is a flawed process. I'm gonna just chop it up that I'm too broke to afford the system. I ain't got enough time or money to play the system.
Well, that's I just feel like the games that they offer are mostly single player focused, and really the only thing that
Yeah.
you can get is experiences out of the system, and most of the experiences are either tainted, poorly made, or have not it has not been as good as the previous versions. And that's been since 2018 for me. Like games that they came out that I've tried, and I was like, let me give this game a chance. I played Arms, Splatoon. Splatoon 2 is good, but it's just not. You guys didn't want to play it, so there's no point in me playing that. I was playing it, but it was fine. But I took it. I ended up selling it. I mean, there's Mario Kart. There's just I don't see anything that they came out with that really was like, let's all try this, because the games that I did see that was like some type of form of competitive online play, Arms and stuff like that, they don't even support it. Smash is its own community. They don't support Smash in that way. They just bring out new characters and pretend like the community doesn't even exist, really. So I don't
With
really
Smash?
see myself. Yeah, I think Nintendo hates the Smash community in general.
Man, they be
Well,
patching that game like no other. I don't know. I feel like
I think
that's
they
a
hate
heavy
the
hitter for
Smash
them, and that's why
community,
they.
and I think that they just tolerate it because it's bigger than them now. But they hate the catch. They
I
hate
think they
not
need
being
this
able
from
to
this community.
control everything in that community. Period.
I don't. I say I could see them hating it, but I think they realize that they need the Smash community too.
They literally shut down one of their things because they were using a something that helps the game play better over
they were
LAN.
using the emulator, so they shut down the tournament.
They shut down that whole tournament just because they were using that. Like
What
they
you
don't
mean?
like this. I don't think they like the community. I think they tolerate them. And if something don't go their way, regardless of what they think, they gonna shut that down. I think that's my opinion on it. I think they have to do stuff on their own. I think a lot of stuff has shown me in the past that Nintendo has a very stringent and very strict rules that they want people to follow, and people don't follow those, and that's a problem. There's plenty of people that can make their own communities and stuff like that and have their own tournaments, but there's no Nintendo backing, is what I'm trying to say.
I ain't know that.
Maybe you don't see it. Maybe you got more. Maybe you more into the community
I
than I
mean,
am.
yeah,
I just see
they're
it from the outside.
overall pretty negative when it comes to like public events and things like that. Like Overwatch, Blizzard, they're 100% esports all the time. Every month we're gonna do this and have a big thing and have big prize money. Nintendo doesn't usually do that unless it's self-organized. Like they'll do their own tournament at E3, but they don't like to get behind smaller tournaments. And usually it's bad that it negatively affects the Smash community, and so they gotta do their own things. I mean, at the same time, a lot of the, I think most of the big Smash players last year got they all got in trouble because they had some how to put it sexual assault cases on like dozens of them. So
Yeah.
I
Wait, what?
don't care. Yeah.
Man, that's why they so good at the game. They don't do none of that dumb stuff.
So personally, I don't care either way. But yeah, they should. If this is gonna be their biggest multiplayer competitive game, they gotta actually get behind it, like Capcom, and understand how to organize events and get good publicity with that type of stuff.
So why do y'all think they be patching the game and stuff like that then and changing these minor
Because people
details?
do
Like,
play it, and there are communities that are interested in it. It's just that if
You talking
let's
about
say,
Nintendo like changing how certain things work in the game?
like the game is patched. Like it's some little stupid like Street Fighter type patches where they be like, well, we changed his not back and then we reduced the number back by like 0.7%. Like the stuff that why are you even taking time to analyze this thing? Like
Why are they doing
I
that?
just
It's
ain't feel like
because
because
it was
they do
they do
have
care about
coordinate.
it.
Yeah, they do coordinate their own tournaments as well. They don't want it to feel like bad, but they don't. Like I said, it's having the ability to do something and then not doing it. I'm talking about that portion of it. I'm not saying that they don't want it to succeed in a community kind of way. I'm saying that they don't care about the people organizing within it, the higher ups, or the people that's trying to make, get bigger tournaments to happen or something of that nature. They're not supporting that stuff. And most companies, when you have a game like that and they have a huge following, they try to incorporate that in a special way. Nintendo has not to do that yet. They just have done smaller things or some things, but they haven't done those big things where I see that they're putting the backing behind it or they're putting up some cash prizes or whatever it may be. They don't do
yeah, I
that.
got you.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about them not caring
Yeah.
about the game. They care about the game. They're not gonna just let it sit. It's one of their highest selling games, and it's probably got the most DLC sales they probably have over the time because of the constant characters they putting in there. And again, that game ain't nothing but a remaster. But obviously they put a bunch of stuff in it, so whatever. I mean, but in my opinion, that's a Wii U game. But that's neither here nor there. What were we talking about before we went into that? I don't remember no more.
Smash. You were talking about Nintendo Online. I mean, I don't know. I don't personally, at this point, ever think that maybe there might be one or two games, but I don't think that the Nintendo systems are ever going to be the place that we go to play multiplayer games. Like even if their next system is more powerful than the Switch and it runs at 60 FPS and a decent resolution in comparison to the PlayStation, there's always going to be, I guess, more incentive to play that multiplayer game on the other systems.
Yeah,
So
I think that's the case. And I think they
so
don't.
that leaves Nintendo systems for those single player games to play, which they have been coming out with.
Yeah, they have been coming out with some. I'm not going to say that they come out with a lot. They come out with some, and it's not at the same. Obviously, Nintendo has Nintendo, and then they have all the little third parties. I'm not obviously only children going to buy a Switch. Maybe I mean not just children. I'm saying only people that have that's the only console would choose to buy a game that's multi-plat on that system and run it poorly. Because again, it is nothing but, in my eyes, nothing but a Wii U still, and it's still not as good as even a half of an Xbox One X or Xbox One even. I don't think it's that strong enough yet. So, or it might be Xbox One, yeah, maybe not the PS4. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's the bare minimum that that really gets to me is that they don't like the last 2 years, Josh. What games can you say really stood out to you on that console that you felt like were
Astral Chain.
hitters? Okay, what else?
I didn't like it graphically, but Fire Emblem was good. I liked the GameCube Fire
Hold
Emblems
on.
more,
You changing your tunes.
but it
You
is
told me it was bad. Now you telling me it's good? What you change? What you changing for the
Nope,
people?
nope, that's not what I said.
You told me
I
it was
said
bad.
that every Fire Emblem game after the 3DS games have changed. They're more like Persona. There's more talking. There's more friendships and all this extra stuff. Personally, I don't care about that stuff, and that's what they put a lot of effort into. But the core game and the core story, I still enjoyed. That's what I said.
So, Fire Emblem and Astral Chain.
Yeah.
What?
Both of those came out 2019. 2020, Nintendo didn't have anything really to come out. Animal Crossing at the beginning of the year. And I don't remember what else came out after that. But, maybe they just didn't have games. Maybe it was a pandemic. I don't know. Before that, yeah, Astral Chain was one of the best games I thought that came out that year. Graphically, it didn't look as good as Breath of the Wild, but it looked good for on the system. It didn't have performance issues. It wasn't running at 20 FPS. It was mostly 30. I didn't really have any issues with it. And it was a good game, like good gameplay. You get a decent amount of content. The story was, I mean, it's an anime story, but it was okay. It wasn't worse than like Bayonetta or anything like that. So, like, yeah, right now I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter. It comes out next month. It's not going to be on any other system. It runs well. It's only at 30, but it's mostly locked. And I will play it because Capcom is doing their own online infrastructure for the game. So you got their own lobbies and things like that, like normal. So, I mean, there are games, but again, if you don't like Monster Hunter or if you don't like Astral Chain, you don't play them and then you don't play your Switch.
Okay. I still own Astral Chain, I believe. But yeah, it's very difficult for me to turn on that system. Not saying that it's not worthy of my time, but there's only so much honestly Breath of the Wild I can take. Super Mario Odyssey lost my attention after a while. There hasn't been much for me to sink my teeth into outside of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 1. But really, again, that console just seems to, I feel like it's skating by. I don't feel like they're being innovative. I don't feel like they're doing much different. And I mean, they're doing like, I guess they're still doing the gimmicky stuff. Maybe if I was more interested in like VR or, the augmented reality, Mario Kart or Nintendo Labs with the cardboard, maybe I'd be okay with paying $60 for some cardboard. I don't really get the point of Nintendo at this point because I feel like they're not competing with the systems anymore, which is fine. But at the same time, they're also being very lackluster with the games they're kind of releasing. I mean, I played Luigi's Mansion 3. It wasn't as good as Luigi's Mansion. It didn't feel like it was good. It just felt very meh. And those are the games that I look forward to on that console. So if the games that I look forward to on the console isn't delivering as much as I wanted them to, what am I looking forward to? There's only so much Breath of the Wild you can take. That delivered wholeheartedly. But if other games aren't delivering and they're still charging $60, it makes me feel like I don't want to. It puts you in that box like Jalen said, where you kind of feel like you don't want to explore their games anymore because they seem to be letdowns at this point, and you're constantly spending additional money that you could possibly get a better experience elsewhere for cheaper price. So that's the problem. I think their quality control is starting to lack versus how it used to be where you would pay $60 and you'll get an experience and you think that was the best experience ever because it was like so much to unpack within it. Now it feels like they're doing the bare minimum. They're charging $60 for it and they're getting away with it. Astral Chain was a platinum game. That's not a game Nintendo kind of solely directs or like put out, but obviously
They
it's
own the
publishing by
IP, so it
Nintendo.
don't matter.
Yeah, I understand that they own the IP, but it ain't them that's doing the work. I would say that the characters that they
They didn't make
own.
Xenoblade either. Monolith Soft made it.
I
Like,
know.
ain't no,
So the
we don't need
games
to
that they're
nitpick the
coming out with,
companies.
that they have, like the people that you kind of grew up with, the characters that you know and love, the games are starting to diminish, right? So are you gonna still are
No,
you
I don't love Mario. Zelda hasn't dipped in quality. They don't make Metroid games anymore. Pokemon, yeah, that has dipped. I guess
just
we go
because they
down the
don't
list.
make Metroid no more, but the Metroid games that you, I thought we were talking about Federation Force the last time with on the 3DS. Wasn't that a dip?
I didn't play it. The dip
Just
was
because you didn't play it,
Other
don't mean it
M, which
wasn't a
was on the
dip.
Wii. What I'm saying is Metroid Prime 3 was a 9 out of 10. The game that came right after was a 6. So it don't matter what Federation 4 was, because the game that caused the dip was Other M, which was on the Wii. I don't think Federation Force was worse than Other M. It just wasn't what it used to be. And that was like 8 years ago. So yes, they don't make Metroid anymore.
So do you agree that they're doing the bare minimum with some of their IPs?
Some of their IPs, yeah. Mario Party, for sure.
And so do you feel
The
like
Paper Mario, for sure.
do you feel like
But
that
most of
kind
those
of
games are actually
plays
Mario games that are the issue.
do you feel like that plays into the whole reason of why me and Jalen, or even most people, I feel like a lot of people feel this sentiment, but do you feel like that is the reason why people do not take a chance on certain video games and they wait for a review from Nintendo now? Do you feel like because of the diminishing quality of their games that is the reason why? And now when we say they ain't got no games, we more so mean like they ain't got no good games. Would you agree with that statement?
Man, they've been dipping, bro. Like, how many new Super Mario Bros. They came out with? How many, like, never mind.
3D World was a peak for them. 3D World was actually a better leap forward, and then it fell with what was the game? I don't remember, because that was the 3D
New
World
Super
one.
Mario
Odyssey,
Bros. Too?
Odyssey actually, I didn't like Odyssey. I thought 3D World was better.
No, I wouldn't say agree with that at all.
You think Odyssey
I don't
was
even
better?
like Mario. I'd say they're equal. They're different games. They don't like.
Yeah, I say they're equal too.
Yeah.
I don't think they're equal. I think 3D World gives you more stuff to do. Within, I think Odyssey
it gives you
feels
more
like
content, but it's more simplistic and it's
in nature.
multiplayer game.
But it was a different experience than what you would normally get. It was 3D World with the platforming, but the platforming was a little bit different because you go into different spaces. But in Odyssey, obviously, that kind of felt like the formula for
I like Odyssey more
Galaxy
Odyssey was,
and 64 versus
3D it's
World
more similar to them.
Was kind of like
but it was new.
Super Mario Bros.
It felt more new to me than 3D World, because 3D Land came before 3D World, so it had that same formula, and it's still, even though it's 3D, it's classic Mario platforming. So it's the long level, you run through, jump over platforms, and hit the flag at the end. Like, it's still classic Mario, just in 3D. Whereas Odyssey, they tried to do more. Like, they actually have cutscenes. The story not doing anything, but they actually have cutscenes, and all these different powers and the worlds that you go to. So it felt new to me. It wasn't as good as Breath of the Wild, but it was still, I thought, their best Mario game that they came out with in a long time, since like Galaxy.
Okay, well, I see those I see diminishing returns in their future. I see a lot of people love Nintendo.
But yeah,
it's always gonna be
they had a lot of misses with their IPs. Like we talk about it all the time. Like Paper Mario and Paper Mario RPG series is garbage. But they keep coming out with those games. and they haven't been good since the DS. So, if you're a fan of that, you should worry anytime Nintendo announces Mario RPG or anything related to that. Like, that's true, but there's still a lot of potential there, and they actually own so many different IPs that it's hard to say that everything is garbage now, because it's not. Because there are a lot of people who felt like Zelda had became garbage. They didn't like Skyward Sword. They didn't like the motion controls and all this stuff. And then Breath of the Wild is their most popular game ever. So, I mean, I think the potential is still there. I'm not saying that you have to go by faith. Of course, like, go look at reviews and then look at more reviews and more reviews to actually try to get a feel on it, because people like Nintendo games and they might actually say that this Paper Mario game is great, but it's not what you like. So, I understand it's hard to just go spend $60 on a Nintendo game.
That's when you're broke like me.
Especially when you're a medical student and you broke.
It's a lot to unpack with Nintendo.
So that,
to be honest,
again, that's why I don't buy their remakes, because I either already played it or I'm not going to spend $60 for it. So we're in agreement for that. I'm just saying that, if somebody
but that
is
the only thing that's still good from them, which is sad, because they have to continuously remake. In my opinion, from what I'm seeing, is they ain't got no new tricks.
Is it wrong to put the games on the system that they're not on? I understand y'all wish they were $20, $30, $40, but is it actually wrong to bring the games forward?
Because it is when that's the only thing that you're doing. It is. That's when the only thing that you're doing. It is. It is. In my opinion, it is when that's the only thing you're doing. I don't think they're doing anything else that's better.
Splatoon 3? Are they not making Zelda 2? Are they not coming out with games? Even though, like you said, the quality is not what you prefer, are they still making games? Yes. But they just came out with the Zelda game like 2 months ago. It's not what you like. It's Hyrule Warriors style, but it is Zelda. So if you're a Zelda fan, you literally got a game 2 months ago. So a Skyward Sword remake doesn't negatively affect.
No, he's talking about Hyrule Warriors, the Hyrule Warriors, the Dynasty Warriors game.
So if you're a Zelda fan, you got a game 2 months ago. So a Skyward Sword remake does not negatively affect Zelda fans.
I think you capping for these people, but I'm gonna just say that Nintendo will continue to do Nintendo things. I do enjoy Splatoon. That game came out in 2018 or 2019? Was it 2018?
Splatoon 1?
Yeah, 2017, right?
That was like 2014 because it was a Wii U game.
No, Splatoon 2. Sorry.
Yeah, that was like 2018.
Was it 2018 or 2017?
Boy.
And that was just a port of Splatoon 1.
So you...
I don't like Splatoon. Splatoon 3
because you don't
2.
Like it, you can admit that it's the same thing.
Splatoon 3 got the same graphics as Splatoon 2? Yeah.
Oh my god, this guy. We understand that you don't. We understand that you can say $60 is not worthy for a remake. But what I just don't understand is how we can be in agreement with diminishing returns, problematic sequels.
All I'm saying is
the remakes being
that's straight
not worth the $60.
Don't spend $60.
You told me you had two games in the last 2 years that you felt worthy, and you say that they're not doing the bare minimum.
The point is, you picked it up. You picked up Astral Chain.
Yep.
And you haven't finished it. And
I told you why I haven't finished it. It's because I was playing it on the thing. I was playing it on my TV. And
it's a 4K TV, and it's a 900, 800p game.
It's upscaling. It looks fine. No, I'm not talking about the graphics. I'm talking about the graphics. First off, when you was talking, I thought you was capping with them dips. I was like, I see plenty of dips when I'm playing that game, but it's still fine to play. I told you I didn't like the controls of how you control the character and his thing, and you said it gets better. So you continue to, and once you get new moves, it becomes a little bit more, fluid. And I was telling you, I was like, is this where it ends? But you told me like you ain't even got past the prologue, Deontay, and that's when I was supposed to go back into it. But I remember telling you that I didn't like the controls, and that's what I was talking about. I said it feels wonky, but I will go
Yeah.
back and play it and continue to get out the prologue, because that's not a good enough excuse to say the game trash, because I'm not gonna say the game is bad, and that's why I just didn't say anything, because I don't know if the game's bad, because I do like platinum games and I haven't even got through the prologue. So I was going to continue to play it. I just said I stopped playing it because I didn't like how you control the guy, and that's not enough to say that a game is bad. But all I know is that if that was the situation for the Xbox, if that was the situation, which it kind of is the situation for the Xbox, Nintendo should still get that same heat for how the Xbox is doing their exclusives. They're buying stuff. Yeah, they're buying it now. They don't have anything though. If PlayStation was to do something like Nintendo, they would not be able to recover from this stuff. But Nintendo can do whatever they want, and they get praise for the bare minimum. And that's my whole point. I feel like everybody else is held to a certain standard, and Nintendo has its own standard. That's it. They can do whatever they want with their online. Obviously, people. I'm not saying that people on the outside looking in don't say nothing. I'm saying the people on the inside looking out, they have no problems with it. And I don't want to put you in that category because you obviously have a sound mind. You understand what flaws are. So I'm not going to put you in that category. But when you make points of someone from the inside looking out like that, it makes me feel away because you're saying stuff that's like crazy talk in my eyes. But whatever. I think you are aware. I think you're just trying to make points that it's okay and you don't care, and that's like whatever. That's not the point. If you can't find games that you don't like, just leave it alone. But it's no problem with them moving games over and stuff like that. I think those practices are going to continue to keep the system in a stale state where I will never have a way to kind of interact with it outside of the regular games I play, because they don't have a way of trying new things. They don't have a way of allowing you demos. Their demos are like, a weekend. And then sometimes they don't even let you do that. And it's kind of like Nintendo is just difficult to try to get people to enjoy their games, period. So it's even harder when we have people that's Satan from the inside, looking out that it's fine. There's no fire. It's fine. I'm just like, it is not fine, but I get the point. I get the point you're making. You're not that person.
I mean, I guess for me, when y'all talk about Nintendo games, y'all are actually literally talking about Nintendo made games in Japan by Miyamoto and crew, like Mario and stuff like that. Like, those games come out and those games are fine. But like you said, some of those games I'm just not interested in and you're not interested in. Like Kirby comes out like every 2 years. I don't buy Kirby games, but they might be good. People might like them. But if you want to play the system more and just look up more reviews of second or third party games, they're not all ports from the PlayStation that run worse. Like if like a game like Monster Hunter or even a game like Astral Chain, which is not quote unquote made by Nintendo, it's made by Platinum, it's still a good game that you can't play anywhere else that is probably worth the time. Is it worth $60? Of course, that's your personal preference. If you don't like character action games, then maybe you don't like it. But if you can get it on sale or something, sure, try it out. And Square Enix always coming out with games for it. I know Deontay don't like Square Enix, so don't count. But if y'all want to play it, I guess y'all just gonna have to find more single player games to play on the Switch on the discount whenever a discount happens.
Okay.
Not just one.
I mean, you can get them from your mileage may vary from Walmart or Best Buy, but yeah,
Uh,
not
Yeah,
first
I
party,
mean,
not on Zelda.
yeah, not the first party games.
yeah, I you got anything to add, Jalen? I'm done with Nintendo. They get on my nerves already. So we
Nah,
already.
man. I just hope for them to kind of do what they did before. Um, like the GameCube, somehow make Mario Party better. Somehow stop making these new Super Mario Bros. Games. Or 3D Land. I thought 3D World was good. They want to make remakes, that's fine, but just put like some more quality games like on a Wii U or something. I don't know, like like the Hyrule Warrior stuff. I'm like, just stop making them Dynasty Warrior games. Like that, them games don't even count as games to me no more because I'm about to go kill 1,000, whatever the enemy is in the game.
Oh, you should have saw that frame rate dropping on that Switch. But yeah. If y'all looking for new games, they got Tales of Borderlands coming. They got Ninja Gaiden Collection. Ooh, that's hot.
They got the new Final Fantasy Tactics game,
Oh
Monster Hunter, Splatoon 3. Oh my god!
Stop capping, G. That's 2022. That ain't coming out this year.
Well, yeah, the other two coming out this year.
Oh yeah, they got Mario Golf. So that might be some heat in June. Yeah, man. If Capcom making one of your most interesting games, then there's a problem. So
how's that a problem?
It's a problem, Josh. It's a problem. If Final Fantasy
now
7 Remake was the
problem?
only game that PlayStation had was decent in last year, then it would probably be a problem.
It was.
Ghost of Tsushima came out that year. What are you talking about? Last of Us came out that year as well. What are you talking
Final
about?
Fantasy was better. Last of Us don't count.
Oh my god, Last of Us was still a top quality game, bro, and they put effort into it, even though the story was stupid. Oh my god, even though the story was stupid, it beats everything that Nintendo has put out in the last 2 years. You know that, right? It still does, even though it's simplistic gameplay. You do the same thing, but just because of the story and the amount of content that they actually put into the
gameplay and the story was garbage. The graphics was good though.
The story was garbage to you. Yes, garbage to me as well, but people enjoyed it. The gameplay was generic, but it was not bad. That's different. That's different from having bad gameplay. Bad gameplay is not what Last of Us 2 was. It's just the same gameplay. Okay. So, Ghost of Tsushima. Is that a bad game? Are you saying it's a bad game too?
No, it was okay. The story, nothing to go right home about. The gameplay was good, and they had a free multiplayer mode, so it was a decent game.
Okay, so
was the story amazing?
No, I told you Jin was a bad character, but it was the cosplaying for me. It was nothing else. I was like, I wanted to cosplay as a samurai. They allowed me to do that.
And
that was it.
The open world mechanics were not amazing.
I liked the win. I liked the win mechanics. I liked how you can explore stuff.
It was still Ubisoft Quest, and none of the NPCs move their mouth. I mean, when you talk to
them, it still was better, in my opinion, than Animal Crossing Horizon.
I mean, that's fair. But I would say
that was one of their newer games. That was something that they had. But all you did was get a house, get a mortgage, and you go decorate. So simplicity-wise, that was garbage. But everybody loves that game. So
graphically was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Game combat-wise was a lot better than I expected. But everything else was on par with every single Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I would say that too. But it was still not just Astral Chain that wasn't made. Technically, it was licensed. It's IP, but it wasn't theirs. It's like something, but it's like they're in, but there ain't. It's like kind of deal. Astral Chain, and then you said
it's a Switch exclusive. Just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's an exclusive. And then it was what was the other game? Well, I don't know the
Fire
other
Emblem?
game. You said some other game that you liked from Nintendo. It was Astral Chain and one more. Fire Emblem.
In
Oh, that's what you said.
2019, that was
Another game that's
Fire Emblem.
yeah. I just feel like yeah. But I got you get my point. I get your point. It's time to move on. So I guess the last topic we gonna talk about for today, because we spent 55 minutes on that one. Let's just talk about leveling systems, or do y'all want to talk about the Outriders demo? Because we can touch on that real quick. I'm really excited.
I guess real quick, we just gotta actually
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It seems as if there's a lot to it. The demo, you can play it as much as you want, and your a lot of your stuff carries over. Have you seen anything about it, Jalen?
Nah, nah.
You know, I ain't seen it. Like,
No, I ain't
you
seen
heard
it.
that? Mine. Like, I don't even know why you ask me. Well, it looks really good. I would need you to download it so we can get in a session or something. I also stream now on Twitch 5 days out the week, 8:30 to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, I think we should definitely try that demo out together, see how we like it, if
I
that's
tried
something
it.
we want to play. It's Square Enix, and you have to have an account with them. So hopefully by the time that comes around, Jalen's situation with Square Nasty is solved. But man, are they really putting you through the ringer, huh? But yeah, I think Outriders has a lot of potential. I think the story might be okay and decent enough to kind of run through. I just hope the whole Diablo feel of it comes together very nicely. You always want to be attacking. That's something that Diablo was always good at. It kind of ripped that formula where you always want to be attacking to get your health back, stuff like that. It's like that, but first person, third person shooter. So I'm really expecting great things from this game, and hopefully it delivers. What you got, Josh? What you seen?
I just want to try out the characters because it's a third-person shooter, but they have like Mass Effect style abilities. You know, throw lightning or pull somebody and stuff like that. So it could be fun gameplay because I like that type of gameplay. There are not as many, I guess, shooters out that you have abilities like that other than like Destiny. So
Warframe.
want to try it out, see how it is, and then yeah, it seems like the thing I said the other day. It seems like they're prepared. Like the game is launching crossplay, and you know it's cross. What the demo is going to bring your progress forward and things like that. So it seems like they're in a good place to be ready, because a lot of these multiplayer games, like they come out and the servers don't work, or you know you can't play with your friends on other systems, and it seems like they've ironed that out. So if the game is fun, it could be a decent experience when it comes out.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think as long as they continue to kind of explain stuff, they're putting out vid docs, and they're taking their time with it. Seems as if they have the right idea when it comes to this game, and hopefully it delivers on a lot of that stuff, and like the leveling stuff, really. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say on that. I think you guys should definitely play it. I think it's worth supporting, at least for the demo portion. Hopefully there's no microtransaction as they state, and moving forward into the game, it's very, it's very seamless, no problems, things like that. So I think you guys should check it out. I'm gonna be streaming it when it comes out. Hopefully you guys are there to see. But speaking of leveling and systems and all that good jazz, I know, Josh, you've been playing Final Fantasy 14. You've been leveling up a character. I know I've been playing Destiny 2, and I've been leveling up my characters. Jalen's been playing Overwatch. He's been getting cosmetics. I don't know. But we're talking about leveling systems and um, what are some of the best leveling systems first? Like one of the best leveling systems you ever played that you felt like was rewarding, satisfying, and felt great to do. Name me like one or two, or maybe if you don't have anything, just kind of tell me stuff that you like to see in games, and that's what you look for when you're playing like a grind type game.
I guess I'll start with one I don't like because it's easier to get to.
Yeah.
I don't like the Far Cry slash um, Assassin's Creed way of doing it, where you just get skill points, storm in the skill tree, or like Tomb Raider to get stuff that like you kind of need. It does like give you progression, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like I say a cheap way of doing it because one you either go out crafting and kill a bunch of deer so that you can get enough skin to upgrade your pouch so you can carry more stuff. Like I hate that whole system.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the new Assassin's Creed, they just give you a giant tree, kind of like the sphere grid, but it's not. I guess the sphere grid also had issues, but the skills and the points are kind of like pointless because they'd be like plus 0.1% damage or plus 2% stealth,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually you'll get to an ability, but it's a simple ability like you can hold two weapons now. And it's like, why couldn't I've done that before? So it just feels like a whole waste. Those are like in single player games. In multiplayer, like Destiny, it has its own issues. I think the leveling system on its own is okay. The issue is how like they continuously want you to chase light level for it feels like forever. Like go play these strikes so that you can get the unlock the pinnacle or get the
Mm-hmm.
whatever the engram is for the week or whatever, just so you can get plus 10 light or something. Like that it feels pointless because the light level doesn't actually mean anything. It's just you got to meet this number to be able to do the content. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, at least I feel like in a game that say like Diablo or Final Fantasy is once you reach your level, whatever, it's less restrictions than I feel like there are in Destiny, where you gotta. I don't know. It feels like in other games like Diablo, you can reach the max level pretty quickly, and at that point, you're free to do whatever you want. And the really hard stuff you got to grind for. Whereas Destiny, I feel like you're constantly chasing the light for like 2 3 weeks, and then once you reach there, it's not much else to do because you're still playing the same content.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I've. Um. Just speaking of Destiny, I'm gonna go into something that, and I'm gonna circle back around to you, Jalen. But there is speaking of Destiny, some things that I like about that system and things that I want to see incorporated into that leveling system now. Um, so I've been playing it for about 2 weeks. New season of Chosen, new ways to grind, levels, new ways to add in and get, new gear. Um, because of all of the new content added previously in Beyond Light, and all of the content added in the season of the Hunt, and all of the content now in the season of the Chosen, because now they allow each season gameplay and mechanics to stay. This has been the easiest level up I have ever done from start to finish. All my characters are now at 1300, which is the soft cap. 1310 is the hard cap. And then you just go get season levels, season artifact levels. But from I played a total of 5 days periodically, time from time, and I only literally had to play stuff I didn't like one rotation. I had to do it with all characters though, but I only had to do one rotation, meaning because I have the season pass, because they're giving you drops from Umbro Ingrams, they're giving you drops from Season of the Hunt, they're giving you drops from the Beyond Light and all the stuff you can do on Europa. You're getting stuff that you already had in there, like the Nightfall, like the Gambit, like everything else. This has been the easiest and most rewarding season I've ever played for that grind. Even though I still hate the grind, I am happy that it's over in a matter of 5 days and I can do whatever I want now. It's still a long time, but 5 days is a lot less of a commitment than I was anticipating it to be. I thought I was going to have to continuously jump on and do certain things. So I could literally see myself getting to the max by just playing Crucible throughout the season. I could do that now. Used to? No, you couldn't do that. But now, because of the way everything rewards you and how you can do the bare minimum and still be rewarded, you could possibly get to 1,300 with each character by the end of the season, probably midway through the season, with not having to do any of the other content, which is good. That means that they actually made a point to make it accessible to everybody, whether you want to play a bunch of strikes or you want to play a bunch of Crucible matches. Whatever your flavor is, you're getting those engrams that you need, and yeah, it wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be worse, but because I can, actually pull a lot of the RNG out of the system now, because they're allowing you to, basically choose that, hey, I want armor, hey, I want a weapon, hey, I want a helmet, hey, I want some legs. It has become significantly easier to do this, which is really good. That's something that I was happy to see. I want to be able to just target something, and if I have it, I want to be able to grab it, get my level up, and continue on with my grind. And that's at least the least amount of what they have done this season. What I don't like about Destiny is that they're still very, very heavy on bounties. You still have to go to pick those bounties up. Now you can do them from the app, but again, it's still a bounty system. It's something that you have to remember to do, or you're not going to be able to get the extra, points and things of that nature. So you're not going to be able to level your season pass. So it's still that nuanced stuff that they need to work out. But yeah, that's one thing I really enjoyed, is that now being able to, and I'm gonna pull away from Destiny, being able to play the mode that you want to play and be able to get to the max level. Very important for games that I want to play. But Jalen, I wanted to come back to you and kind of ask, what is something that you've seen or done or liked in a leveling system in the games that you've played in the past or currently?
I don't know. I usually like. So I don't really have anything like specific, because I feel like I don't know like I don't know. I guess mine's kind of simple. I like when games have you get a fair amount of experience. Like you have a good balance between, in like casual, you got the extremes where you reach a new level, you get like these stat boosts at a certain point in time. You might be able to use this item or something like that, or you might be strong enough to use this weapon, or it might say requires level 40 or something to use this. I really enjoy when games give you an experience system that's rewarding with your time. Like it's a good balance between the time that you put into it and the amount of experience you get. I play games where it takes forever to level up.
Mm-hmm.
And I like when you actually level up in a game, it makes a difference. Like So like I'm gonna just this is probably like a bad example, but I just played this game the other day. When I'm at level 40 or something on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, I'm trying to fight somebody level 45. It's a difference versus when I'm actually at level 45 and I try to fight them. It's no artificial difficulty like, well, they can do this, this, and that. So my level don't really matter because um, you kind of get what I'm saying. The level don't you leveling up actually makes a difference. Whereas if you don't level up, it don't make that much of a difference. Pokemon is like that too. When you actually level up, it makes a difference in the fights. If you're at their level versus 5 levels below them, it makes like a pretty significant difference, and you can like see it. So I do like that because some games they just make artificial difficulty. It don't matter if you're at their level, namely Destiny. It's just kind of like, who cares what, like Josh was saying, who cares what light level you at? It don't really matter. And then if you low enough, if you're at a low enough level, it gets to a point like I think if you 3 levels under them, you can't hurt the enemy, which is dumb. And then one thing I like, kind of going back to that experience thing, sometimes if you're skilled enough in the game, Pokemon, because it's turn based, you have limitations, but like Kingdom Hearts, you can do a level 1 run because if you're skilled enough at the game, the level is going to draw out the battles to some capacity, but ultimately you can still function just as well if you was at their level or higher than their level. And I like that versatility with when games do that.
It doesn't limit you.
Yeah, it don't limit you. If you're good enough at the game, the level is just to help compensate you if you're not good enough at the game or you're not as skilled or an expert versus some games like Dark Souls or Kingdom Hearts. Level don't really matter. It can make the game easier, but theoretically you can play through the game without leveling up.
Yeah, I think the way. Yeah, I think that's an interesting way of doing it too. Just like how like Dark Souls, you don't have to level, but it makes the game easier, right? Um, Destiny kind of has an like the cutoff. Basically, you can't damage them at all, even though. Okay, I understand I'm under level, so it'd probably be more difficult, but let me at least continuously still be able to damage. That's where that leveling system seems a little bit backwards, especially when you're trying to continuously push forward and like play through content. So and then you can still sit there and not be, and be useless, but still get the rewards. So they allow you to join the content, but they won't allow you to hurt nobody. So it doesn't make any sense. So at that point, it kind of makes it. It does seem like it's just artificial. Um, and this might be a controversial take, but I really liked it the way they used to make you use the weapon before you could level it all the way up. And they had like have you like say for instance you just got the um Fell Winter's Live from Destiny 1, you have to kind of play with it in order to unlock this extra perks and things like that. I like I wouldn't say I like that system entirely because sometimes it'd be annoying to have to kind of be have a lesser than weapon until you get enough kills with it or whatever. But at the same time, a leveling system that rewards you for just doing something you were already going to do seems very good in my opinion. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna be honest, like I like games where I can have some form of progression, and I don't like the little like Josh said, you level up, you get 0.2% more stealth, like stuff that you're not gonna see. But
Right.
like with Destiny, back when you did have to upgrade the guns, I felt like I'm not gonna say it was good, but I felt like it gave the game a little bit more personality and depth, even though you can really just turn in a bunch of bounties and just max your gun out real quick because
Yeah.
everyone likes to do that. But it kind of gave me something to work for, but it was tangible. Like it wasn't nothing that was like, oh, reach level 100 to do this mission. Like you didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to level the gun up, but it kind of gave you a little, I guess, a
Incentive.
little small reward. Yeah, like I'm gonna just let me get my gun up real quick. I mean, it get annoying at sometimes too, but now the leveling system, you just get your gun and just put whatever on there. And I don't know how they do it and stuff. Now I feel like you don't have as many perks and stuff either, but it was just cool seeing like all the perks you can get. And then I think it was like 2 junctions where you can choose between, like, if you want small or rifle barrel, and then you can choose if you want precision or if you want less kickback, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can, it just felt like I used to like seeing them little bars fill up, like even with the subclasses, when you would
Yeah.
choose what subclass you want. You have you got the little green bar going around a little circle to let you know if you unlock this ability and stuff. Like I said, it's probably not the best thing but it gave the game a little bit more identity, something to work towards, because you had all these different level up things going on in the background, like you working on your bounties,
Yeah, and
your guns leveling up, like
the good thing was that it didn't force you to do any other content. It just really let you play the game, and it kind of leveled that as you went on, which I really enjoy about. Like I said, I want systems that allow me to, as I play, to just let me play. Like, I don't want it to make me try to like play a certain way or use a certain thing. And I'm not saying that stuff doesn't have its place in games. I'm just saying don't tie it to the leveling system. Tie it to a quest, tie it to an exotic, tie it to an objective, but don't tie it to my level progression. Like bounties, that's tied to your level progression and your season pass. So if you don't play a certain way, you're not going to continuously keep pushing this envelope up. I like how they introduce challenges, but it's tied to certain things that reward you better versus tied to your level. So I'm a little bit more okay with it, but I feel like they need to kind of refine that a little bit more. It is fun to try out new things and play a different way. I haven't played with a rocket launcher in forever. They just buffed those, and I got a pretty decent chain reaction one. So it was kind of like it just all came together. He was like, fine, I do it. And then I actually enjoyed using the rocket launcher more because it was just a much better experience than it was previously. Them boys used to be trash. Now they're actually decent. So tying in stuff that they made changes to is good for me as well. But the leveling systems in games in general, I prefer the more, play daily. You get there, you'll get there. You don't have to kind of do no extra stuff. You don't have to kind of grind for something for hours on end. There's a cool thing that Josh was telling me about Final Fantasy 14 because you get like a rest buff if you come back to it. You can get higher, levels, and they double your XP for actually taking a break. Stuff like that, where it's like you don't have to think about it, but it's going to be there. Stuff to make the system game or whatever it is easier. Stuff like that. Unlocking abilities as you level up. You don't have to go and do something particular to get those abilities. Obviously, Final Fantasies is a different type of chase. It's not per se the favorite chase that I like, but it is a different type of chase. The chase is more so cosmetic. The chase is more so stuff you can do, more stuff you can do within a map or whatever that may be. There's a different chase there than what I'm used to. And at least, in my opinion, when I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, I'm not obligated to do any of that stuff. I'm more so I can continuously play how I want to and play through stuff that I want to play through until you hit obviously a wall block or something like that. I know I can't really do it right now because I'm so overpowered, but I've seen it where if I didn't do a few little optional objectives or whatever, I could possibly be under leveled and they wouldn't let me into something, or my item level wasn't high enough so that way I could go through and play through the content. So I have run into that, but overall, there is always going to be some type of gatekeeping and leveling systems because that's the only way they can continue to make you play through all of the content versus skipping right to the end. So, but I really do enjoy games that can make that happen and it still have fun gameplay. Kind of like Sekiro, kind of like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, all the Soulsborne games, they really don't make you level. but it's definitely going to make it easier. So those type of games where the leveling system isn't attached to your ability to get through the game. It's just something there to incentivize the players to continuously go through and do this, because if you do, it'll make this portion of the game a lot easier for you. But you don't have to. So optional is always best, in my opinion, when it comes to leveling systems. But yeah, anything to add to like the leveling system, stuff that y'all enjoy, anything that you guys see or don't see in games that you would want there?
Yeah, I would say from all the games that I've played that have it, even to some extent Diablo and Cyberpunk, I don't like the like hundreds of random loot drops. Cause like honestly, even if the guns are good, I don't care about nine out of 10 engrams that I get from Destiny. Like I'm just gonna infuse it or delete it.
Yes. And they finally started making blues worthy to even be at the top cap level. They used to didn't even go that high. So yeah, I remember those useless blues. I was like, why are y'all still dropping these for me? Stop. Please stop. It was the most annoying thing, but I definitely hate useless loot, and Destiny is main culprit for it. So
that square button, that's the most used button in that game.
Yep, they said people spent like 500 or it was like some crazy amount of years deleting shaders because they broke it down. What is the point of that? Why can't y'all just give us unlimited shader once you unlock it? You don't have to have itemized. What is the point? Does this make the game funner, or can like do shader? I think they were trying to really they were really trying to monetize shaders, and then they backtracked, and now they still got stuck with this stupid system. It's like, just get rid of the system, bro. We don't need it no more. Just give us one shade for the character, and if we want to customize it, allow us to do that, and that's it. You don't have to have us, like, how is organizing shaders or making room for shaders fun? How is that? I don't understand that. I just think sometimes they make a change, and then it's like they have to backtrack, and then they forget to fix the change because basically it's not fixed. But I feel like they definitely was trying to monetize shaders, and then they had to backtrack.
Yeah, shaders are dumb.
Yeah, them shaders are dumb, bro. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I ain't really got much else to say. We covered pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. Sorry for going on a Nintendo rant, but Nintendo is a very interesting, like, love-hate relationship with me, at least. But yeah, anything else I want to say before we jet up out of here?
I ain't got nothing else to say.
What's
Rest my case on Nintendo.
Rest my case. Rest my case.
Whenever the game comes out, whatever it is, what's the next Nintendo game y'all gonna buy?
It's Breath of the Wild too.
It's
so next year.
Very simple. Breath of the Wild 2. Yeah, Splatoon 3 maybe if the again if they make a lot of changes or whatever. But if it's like a lot of the same and like no new modes, I really enjoy like Turf War and stuff like that. But if they ain't got no really good modes where I feel like I'm intrigued, I probably might skip it. But I do enjoy Splatoon, but that's because it's competitive and I can actually shoot something. But most of the games are cartoony, so it's really difficult to say. I would say that Breath of the Wild 2 will be the next game that I will probably really enjoy and pick up and play. Unfortunate that Zelda is their last hope, in my eyes, but that's the case. That's for me. That's for me. Jalen, Josh might be different. For me, Zelda is their last hope. That's the only game that they came out with that was like mature enough, but still kiddie enough to be enjoyed by the masses. Mario is just at this point not for
Last
me.
hope for you or for the health of the system?
No, not the health of the system. Nintendo fans go Nintendo fan. I'm talking about for me, as in like
For you,
games,
yeah.
them quality games. I'm looking like at that I can say comes from Nintendo camp.
True.
You know, not the
Yeah.
the people that they buy and have games made for them, but the Nintendo camp. That's the only game that I'm like, yeah, I play that. I mean, they come out with a Mario Kart 9, but really, they have the like Mario Kart. Mario Kart was it first Mario Kart Wii, and then it was Mario Kart 8, right? Or was it? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Okay,
No, well, 7 was on the DS, right?
I'm not sure. Was 7 on the
3DS.
DS?
Mario Kart 7 was on the 3DS.
Okay. So there was a pretty big change from the Wii to the 8. I'm not sure how big of a change is going to be from the 8 to the next one. So I'm hoping that it's a pretty significant change. I'm hoping that they have a new gimmick, new mechanics.
We just need better online and better, or I guess more modes.
Yeah, more maps, more stuff to do, because that's all they really have to do. For those types of games, those kind of sell themselves. I'm looking for the games that currently need a refresh. Like, I really wish they would knock the Luigi Mansion 3 out the park. It was okay. It just wasn't as good as I thought it would be, and they could have did more. But I mean, what you gonna do? So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening again. If you enjoy this type of content, we do these every 2 weeks. We kind of go through topics. I'm going to be trying to do these live at some point. Right now, my system is very weird, so it's problematic. If you're on the podcast and you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever, appreciate you. Thank you guys for listening wherever you are listening. And until next time, peace.